Gentlemen, I recently saw a video of a gentleman who is at the end of his life. He has stage 4 cancer, and he made a video. He has about one more month to live, about what he wished he knew before he got to the stage. He's in his 40s. He has been an accomplished lawyer, and just either months or a year before he got the announcement or the pronouncement, his diagnosis, his law firm offered him partnership. And so he has climbed to the top of his profession, only now to realize that it's for nothing. And he recounted what he wished he had known 20 years ago. And it got me to think, or it got me thinking about relationships. Melissa Tson did a TikTok video, which I'll share with you in a little while, about the stage of relationship that couples seem not to be able to recover from. And I'll play the video, and then I'll tell you what I think might be some comeback from this, or how to prevent this, and how to prevent the burnout, the ultimate demise of your relationship, so that you don't reach the stage that the gentleman reached or that Melissa is talking about. So hang fire, listen to Melissa, and stay till the end, where I give you some very powerful practical things that can be done to save a relationship before it gets to the point of no return.
When a relationship hits this stage, it rarely comes back. And after 15 years as a couples therapist, I can tell you this moment is one of the hardest to repair. It's when one partner shifts into what we call a burned out pursuer. You've seen this dynamic. It's the partner who keeps the emotional pulse of the relationship going. The one who says, hey, something's off, or I miss you, or can we talk about what happened? They're the ones starting the uncomfortable.
Yes.
Trying to reconnect, trying to make things better. But instead of partnership, they just get hit with walls.
Defensiveness.
Shrugging it off,
Yes.
getting told they're too sensitive or too much, or the good old, can we just drop it or talk about it later? They do. They try harder. They
Yes,
educate
they
themselves.
pursue.
They send the podcast episode. They ask for a check-in. They initiate therapy. They read the books. They carry the emotional load because they desperately want things to feel safe again.
Yes.
And then slowly, over time, something in them shifts. It doesn't blow up. It's not a dramatic exit.
Yep.
It's quiet. They stop pushing. They stop reaching. They stop hoping. And that is what makes us as couples therapists worry, because a burned out pursuer isn't someone who suddenly stopped caring. It's someone who cared too much for too long that their nervous system finally shut down to protect themselves. And here's the part most people don't understand. When your partner is still naming things, when they're still saying things like, this hurts, or I need more from you, or can we talk? This is a sign that they believe in the relationship. This is someone fighting for the connection, not against it.
That's true.
So if your partner is reaching towards you, even awkwardly, even imperfectly, don't dismiss it. Don't shut it down. Don't get defensive. Lean in. Ask questions. Let their experience matter. Because once the pursuer goes quiet, it's almost never because they're fine. It's because they don't see a path forward anymore. If you want to understand your patterns as a couple, or why you might be drawn to the pursuer or the withdrawer, check the link in my bio. I have a free attachment quiz there and a couple other resources for you. When a relationship hits
Okay. Now, that is very, very well put. Much better put than I could probably articulate it. But I want to share a couple of ideas around that many people are not aware of what is transpiring in their relationship, as this man was totally oblivious. He had his family, he had his daughter, he didn't show up to the daughter's performances because he was chasing the promotion, he was chasing more money, and he was thinking and putting it off that one day he would make it, he would make the partnership, he would get enough money that would give him the accolades and the remuneration to stop doing all that and then focus full-time on his family, only to burn himself out. And his daughter said to him actually a couple of months before that, Daddy, I actually don't know you, which pained him even more. He was physically in the house, but he was absent because he had to take home work, burn the midnight oil, and he has burnt himself out. The same thing happens in relationship. And even in our general health, they tell me that before you get a major heart attack, you get about 500 symptoms. And many people just ignore them. That's because people are not aware that inside them there is almost like a ticking time bomb. And many couples are not conscious, particularly the ones who are resisting the pursuer, the avoidant one, who think that he or she is just too much, they're too needy, they are too clingy, and they just want some space. Granted that there is a way that the pursuer can pursue without being clingy, needy, and being too heavy and overwhelming. And it all comes down to awareness, knowledge, education. So what should the pursuer do? What should you do if you find yourself, particularly if you're a woman, because many women are the guardians of the relationship. Many women are the ones who actually reach out and try to salvage and solve and maintain and resurrect a dying relationship. But many times they go about it the wrong way. They kill the relationship, even though they are trying to make it survive. Well, first of all, I want to suggest to you that you need to be aware that if you are the one trying to get your partner to meet your emotional needs, to attend to it, that you need to sit down at some point in time and take ownership of meeting your own emotional needs. I once read a book called Who Moved My Cheese? And the characters in it are some mice or rats who found the cheese, their hem and haw, and daily they would go in this maze and they had it all mapped out, the route to the way where the cheese is. And they would fill themselves with cheese every day. They go back to this particular spot because they knew exactly where it was, and they could navigate to it now without even thinking, until one day they went to the place where the cheese usually was and there was no cheese. And they tried again and again a couple of days after, and they realized there wasn't any cheese. And one of them thought, no, there must be cheese. There has to be cheese at the same point. And they he continues to go there until eventually he was just simply drained. And the other one realized, okay, there's no hope here. I probably need to look for other sources of cheese, which he eventually did. And that's the same point I'm making, that sometimes your partner, one, is either unwilling, two, is incapable, or three, doesn't actually know how to service your needs and maybe overwhelmed and has his or her own needs to deal with. And you need to recognize, will I ever be able to get my needs met? And probably one of the most important things to do is to decide to meet your own emotional needs, to take responsibility for meeting your needs. And what would that look like? It's not as difficult as some people may think it is, because initially, when your spouse fell in love with you, when your spouse was attracted to you, you were doing that all along. You were going on your merry own way. You were making life. You were getting on with life. You were just doing the things that made you feel good, happy, fulfilled. And probably that's what that magnetize them to you. And now you become dependent on them to meet those needs. I forgot the woman's name. Is it Monica Hyde? Forgive me if I miss that name. I'll probably try and put it someplace here on the screen. And she recommends that women every day should do 3 things that brings a smile to their faces, make them feel fulfilled, make them feel happy, and religiously do that every day. Do 3 things that make them feel fulfilled, happy, and energized. Doesn't matter how simple it is. It could be simply sitting down, drinking a nice cup of tea, having a hot tub bath, or going for a walk, or whatever it is. Do something every day. I want to suggest that whoever you are, there is one thing guaranteed that brings fulfillment, happiness, and gives you a sense of purpose more than anything else is to help other people. To help people, to be kind to people, to go out of your way. Maybe it's an elderly person in the community. If you just simply visit them, do a chore for them, send someone a message of appreciation, just do something, and you will find then when you do these little acts, you will not be wholeheartedly depending on your spouse to make you feel important, to make you feel that you matter, to make you feel uplifted, to fulfill your emotional needs. And I think that's one thing that Melissa has probably missed out. And maybe she covers it in other videos. Now, for the person who is the avoider, again, you need to become aware, even though that your spouse may be using the wrong approach, maybe triggering you, that the motives of your spouse, they're laudable, and look beyond the presenting action and try to be curious as to what is happening. And there is something called the Walkaway Wife Syndrome that many men are not aware of, that sometimes the women in our lives who have tried over and over and over again give up and they check out. And you may be thinking that, thank God, she has stopped harassing me. She has stopped pestering me. Yes, things are better. Things are not necessarily better. It's just simply a ticking time bomb. She has shut down. She has checked out in her head. And eventually, there will land on your table a divorce paper that you may not see coming. So take it to heart. Sit down. Get curious and find out, what can I do to support the pursuer, your wife or husband, whichever the case may be, in restoring, regenerating the connection we have had. If you're at a crossroads and don't know what to do and would like some support, please feel free to let me know and we'll see what we can do. There is hope. As long as there's life, there is hope. If you think your relationship is hopeless, think again.